we go.
Hi, Geoff. Thank you for joining in today.
Hi, Priya. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. So, as we were talking offline, it's a very tough time, but it's gonna be a very interesting time for Australian market as well. So, before we go into the more detail, I would like to ask you, what made you to become an entrepreneur and the coach of entrepreneur?
Okay. I mean, look, I spent 30 plus years as a C-suite executive across 12 different industries. And when I left my last CEO role and moved into my own coaching company, the thing I'd realized was I'd always been an entrepreneur, but usually in big companies, corporate, you call them an intrapreneur. But I was always entrepreneurial in spirit. I was always looking for new opportunities or better ways of applying things that we were already doing, and quite frankly, how to help people. So I've been one all my life. I mean, I can remember when I was 6 years old, I went to the local toy shop at my local shopping centre. I knocked on the door and I said to the lady, you've got a lot of rubbish out the back. If you pay me, I'll go and burn it. And that's what I did. At 6 years old, I was getting paid 50 or 60 cents every afternoon. I'd get off the school bus, go down there. I'd take all the cardboard boxes, put them in the incinerator, which you can't do these days, but you could then, and I'd get paid. So I was an entrepreneur at age 6. So it never changed.
Wow. I mean, who could think at that time? Like, most children are actually trying to enjoy their days and mama's, food and water and whatever mama is taking care of, right? So it's amazing. A different thinker from the childhood itself. So that's interesting. What do you think about like brand positioning? How do you do your brand positioning and what do you think about it?
Well, okay. So brand positioning is two things. It's both overemphasized and it's not emphasized enough. Okay. Some people spend all their time positioning a brand, but the brand's not actually underpinned by something that means anything. I'm a believer when you're starting a business or you're an entrepreneur is the first thing you've got to do is decide what's the problem you solve and who you solve it for. And by the same token, is it a problem that people want solved, or have you got a solution that's looking for a problem? I mean, but when you've got a product or a solution to a marketplace, then you can build your brand on top of that. Too many people have an idea, they don't test it and know if people want it, and they build a brand, or they think a brand's something like about a logo and a strap line and some pretty colors, whereas that's part of the brand. A brand's a whole wheel of things with all sorts of folks. I get really annoyed when people say, what do you think about my brand? And I'll go, well, your logo's okay. What do you communicate? What's your point of difference? Is there a unique selling proposition? Is there something that's going to make you jump out from everyone else? Have you read Blue Ocean strategy? Have you decided how to get out of red ocean commoditizing whatever it is you do closer to blue ocean, where there's very few competitors and you stand out in the crowd? I mean, those old marketing things about point of difference and unique selling proposition are incredibly important, but most brand practitioners these days just don't get it. They don't understand it.
Right. I mean, brand design is not brand building and not brand positioning. That's, for sure. And also, given the current market, majority of people are actually more going towards digital and virtual meetings and all. And I get it, that COVID forced us to do that. And there was a time I remember I wanted to do virtual meeting for a few people and they were not ready at that time before COVID. But after COVID, nobody wants to get out and meet, and everybody wants to jump on the Zoom. I feel like too much is anything is not good for me. But what do you think about the event point of view? Like now in-person events are open. What do you think? Is this gonna value more towards your brand positioning?
Well, I think Zoom's got its place, right? I've got clients in Hong Kong and Portugal and America. Zoom makes sense because they're not going to fly me over once a month to spend time with. It'd be nice. For sure. But live events have got a lot of things going for them. One is without being woo-woo, there's a certain energy and a certain vibe you get at live events, which make them more interesting. And to learn more at live events, you look around the room and you go, oh, it's not just me. Wow, there are other people going through this. That's important, right? In terms of networking, I don't mean networking with like, hi, my name's Geoff, bye from me. I mean proper networking where you look for people that you want to get to know, like, and trust, who maybe will advocate for you and you can advocate for. There's nothing beats meeting people at events with something in common to start building a network with, or start doing proper networking with. So for me, a live event is the top of the tree. That's what you want to do if you want to learn, if you want to expand your knowledge. You know, a Zoom meeting is number 2 or number 3, because yes, you can use them, and yes, they can give you value, but there's nothing like being live. It's if you're an actor, and many years ago it was a real difference between doing TV or a movie and doing theatre. You get a fantastic buzz from theatre. There is that energy, there's that interaction with people in the audience. So for the audience themselves, there's an interaction with one another, and the ability to go up to someone who's been speaking and have a chat to them afterwards and see what's happening. So for me, live events are absolutely vital. It's a shame that, people are still so shy about going back to them. The good sign is theatres are starting to fill up again, and restaurants. So maybe people are starting to get over their fear of staying home. But live events are great.
Yeah. And what makes you to go there? Like, what do you think you should go? Like, when you decide to go any business event, what makes you to trigger that?
For me, I look at a business event and I look at the quality of speakers. I look at what's the theme of the event. I look at, is it something that I'm interested in or something I want to learn about? Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of events I don't go to, either because I don't know the speakers, or the topics don't sound right. But if the topics sound good, if it's something I want to learn about, or it's just something that I haven't been to one for a while, it's time I went and sort of got my feet back in the water, then I'll go to a lot. But ones like the event coming up now, it is such a diverse range of speakers. Fantastic. There's no way I think you could go to this event and not come away with some stuff you could really take away and use in your business. So to me, it's a no-brainer to turn up. Right.
And you are a speaker at Corporality events, and you have been quite popular amongst your community. So I would be, looking forward to hear you and at Corporality events, and your nuggets and your value add. It's always tremendous. So I was wondering, what do you think about Corporality events, and what would you like to say to the audience about it?
I think, obviously we're coming back after COVID, so there's all that sort of stuff going on. But corporality events, they tend to get good speakers, they tend to be well themed, and they tend to be professionally run. That's great. That's what you're looking for. If I'm turning up, I don't want a lot of friction in the place. I don't want to, hassles to try and find the right room and all that sort of. That doesn't happen with corporality events. So the thing is, it's about low friction, good value, and easy to get to. And I mean, this one, the venue for this one is so central. It's so, I'm coming by train. I'm not even driving. It's so easy to get to. So, I mean, for me, that's what it's all about. Good speakers, good venue, professionally run. Why wouldn't you come?
Great. And thank you so much for joining in. We are looking forward to that. So we would like to personally invite me and Geoff together. And we would like to all of you to see at our event, so that we can connect, meet, collaborate, and build a network and relationship, a community together on this small business world.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much for joining in.
My pleasure. See you there.